Is the Cape Coral market finally cooling down, or is this just the calm before the storm of another housing boom? Let's unpack what really happened in July and what it means for you. Adam Thompson here, a local expert in Cape Coral's waterfront real estate, and this is your August of 2025 housing market update from what happened in July, the numbers from July. We're diving into what's really going on, from prices to inventory to buyers' activity, and whether this is just a seasonal slowdown or the setup for a major shift in the market. If you want a custom breakdown of what this means for your home or neighborhood, just call, text, or email me. All my info is in the description below. Let's get into this market report and see what July really ended up with and what the numbers are looking like.
All right, guys, let's get with this Cape Coral July update for the market. So it's going to be your market update for July, all the numbers that came in for July of 2025 in Cape Coral. So let's get down to it and see exactly where this market is going and how it's been going. So we're going to go over inventory, we're going to go over median price, and we're going to go over days on the market, along with closed sales. We'll have last year's numbers along with for this month, along with this month's 2025's and last month's. So we can kind of see where the market's going, see if it's going up, down, or just staying neutral. So here we have active inventory. So in July, numbers came in 2025 at 2852. April's was 3,336. So that number has definitely dropped quite a bit. And last July we were at 2,603. So a little bit more than last year, not a whole bunch more. Definitely better than April. So houses are moving. Median price point right now is 365,000 for July of 2025. April's of 2025 was at 375,719. Last July we were at 389,000. So it is lower, but it's definitely not tanking down. Like I said, these numbers have been going kind of down, up, and the last couple months they have come down every month. So definitely something we want to watch right here and see when it starts to pick back up. A lot of that's going to have to do with supply and demand. There are a lot of new construction homes that are hitting the market every month, along with people selling for whatever reason they're selling for. But a big number of those are new builds. I see a lot of open houses every week, 3 to 5 days a week, and there is not a shortage of brand spanking new builds out there. That is for sure, because that is what I'm sitting right now. So days on the market, we've got July of 2025 ended up with 57 days on average. April of 2025 we were at 52, so a little bit more, but we are in the summer months, so usually you see that number start getting a little bit lower when snowbird season comes around. July of 2024 we were at 49, so not a huge change in number, just a little bit right now. Let's keep an eye on it. If you look at the graph right here, definitely February and March numbers were a lot higher, but everything's kind of just staying right here where nothing's jumping real heavy right now for number of days on the market. That all depends too on if the houses are priced right, they are moving, if there's incentives, or if you're willing to negotiate, your house will move. The ones that are sitting are the ones that that's the number they want, that's the number they're going with, and they're not budging because they don't need to. Closed sales in July of 2025, we were at 414. April, there was 497 houses closed on. That's going completely all the way through closing finished. And July of 2024, we were at 482. So, like I said, we are in the summer months, and that's when it does get a little slower on houses being sold. But that number still is up there quite a ways. Other key numbers you want to look at, price per square foot that's being sold right now is $235, which is lower than last month. Listing price received, 97.9% are getting what they are listing it at. A lot of that has to do with people are actually listing it realistically and, within the comps that are brought around the neighborhoods. There was 602 new listings in July. And our month's inventory, if we didn't have another house come on the market, would be 7 months. So we have 7 months of inventory if nothing ever came on the market again. But like I said, right now down here, the market is being flooded with new home builds, so new construction. It's not all of it, but it is a big portion of it. Let's look at inflation. So June, we're at 2.6 in 2025, and now we are at 2.72, so that has jumped a little bit. Interest rates for a 30-year fixed is at 6.63, so that number did come down from last month, and the target is 6.7, so we're underneath the target. I think if we see these numbers go into the fives, I think we're going to see a lot more houses moving. This isn't the only market. I have friends that are in other markets, and there's other markets that are starting to slow down as well. And I believe that it's got a lot to do with that interest rate. Unemployment rate is at a 4.2 and staying steady. The increase of last year for inventory is 9.57%. Population's 243. Like I said, 6 years expected to be 250,000, and by 2050, it's supposed to be 320,000 people. They're expecting to be living in just Cape Coral. It's still one of the fastest growing cities. There still is a lot of infrastructure that's being built around here. Once all that comes in, it's going to be a lot more appealing to families and just anybody, because they've got a lot of big plans going here coming soon. So is it a time to buy? It definitely is. Inventories in all price points are great. It's a buyer's market, making great deals with negotiating lower than listed prices, so there is a lot of that. Not saying every house you can get it, but there are people that are willing to negotiate on these houses. And you're getting more house for your money because of the houses have dropped in price. Is it a time to sell? Yeah, if it's priced correctly and marketed. That's open houses, social media, getting a lot of traffic in every which direction. You can definitely sell a house. Plus, if you have incentives or willing to negotiate, that definitely brings a better deal to the table for you to sell. It is a buyer's market, but houses are still moving. The second home market is still there, and it's still pretty hot for people moving down from the cold in the north. Like I said, we see that more in the winter months when the snowbirds come down. But you do have to attract buyers. That is the biggest thing I can say, is pricing your house correctly, having incentives or willing to negotiate. If it's priced correctly, you usually don't have to negotiate. If it is, it's very minimal. So that is where we stand, guys, for where we ended in July. So those are our July numbers, everything that came through for being sold, and what the market's doing in July going into August. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'll have another market report out for you guys next month. We'll see you guys next month.